change again, right? Puts on another dress, then gets blood on that second dress. So she would have to get rid of 2 dresses. That's my logic, you know? No, it was one dress. It did have paint on it. It was an old dress, and Emma had told her to get rid of it, but she picked a lousy time to do it. Really lousy time. You know, that was really suspicious. And there was a policeman outside the door guarding the house, but he must have had his back to the door because he didn't see what was going on. Didn't see it at all. All those guys were, they were fans anyway, those cops, thank God. But, so anyway, after the acquittal, 3 weeks after the acquittal, Lizzie and Emma, where's the picture now? What did she do with that picture? Oh, there it is, she moved it. See that house over there? That looks like a 3-family. Lizzie and Emma bought that house up the Highland section on French Street. And that was like the place that she always wanted to live, up on the hill. I mean, that wasn't the best, but it was, you know, it was to the point. It was in the neighborhood of the better people, better houses. And Lizzie and Emma purchased that house for $11,000. This guy, $10,000 in a working class neighborhood, $11,000 in a much better location, and location's everything. So they gotta buy. That house had 3 bathrooms, and she had 2 bedrooms, a summer bedroom and a winter bedroom, maid's quarters up on the 3rd floor. But imagine, she had a tub and she had a toilet. She had tubs and toilets. Didn't have them there. 3 bathrooms, that was unbelievable. And that house has been for sale on and off for years, but he wants an astronomical amount of money. And they were thinking about buying it, but Leanne can't take care of both those houses. There's no way. They have to have the right manager to do that. She can barely manage here. If it wasn't the Tim has been here, they said, 2 or 3 years, I forget now what he said. Boy, he better never quit. She better never. He's such a good help. But anyway, there was talk about Lizzie and the theater. She loved the theater. She had a chauffeur named Joseph Teacher who took her to the theater in Boston and New York. Emma didn't go for that, but Lizzie loved it. She became very friendly with this actress named Nance O'Neill. It got to the point she invited the whole cast to her home, and she had these grand parties, grand catered affairs up on the hill, they call it, grand catered affairs. I don't know if they had liquor, though. I don't think they had liquor in those days. I mean, she was too Victorian for that. But there was talk about maybe a lesbian affair between Lizzie and Nance O'Neill, but I did read where she was very happily married to a producer-director, was with him until the day he died. And I didn't realize she was in movies too. Here's Nance O'Neill. She, I guess, was a pretty attractive lady in those days, you see. And let me just pass those along. Yeah. And she was, but I think that Nance O'Neill was using her. I really do think she was using her and the money she had. And then kind of decided to break that friendship up, and then Lizzie had nobody. Now, there was talk about that affair, which I don't know if that's true or not. And then Lizzie and Emma had a falling out, and they lived up in that house there for 12 years, and then they had this little argument, a falling out, and Emma ended up moving to Newmarket, New Hampshire. Well, we often wondered what broke the sisters up. Lizzie had this chauffeur named Joseph Teacher. I don't know if that was in that book, because I haven't read that whole book yet. Joseph Teacher, the first chauffeur, and he was married. He was very handsome, and they referred to him as a sporting fellow. I didn't know what that meant, but I found out he was ladies' man. You know, Emma fired him twice, and Lizzie rehired him. Every time Emma fired him, she'd rehire him. There could have been something going on with him. Maybe that's why they had a little tip. That was Joseph Tetro, and worked for her for quite a while, and then he faded into the sunset, and then she had this chauffeur named Ernest Terry, who was a good family man, and he was really a good family man, and a lot of the things that that we have here was inherited through Ernest Terry's family. And then Lizzie died June 1st, 1927. She died, she had gallbladder surgery, and I guess she had gotten pneumonia after that. You know, they all develop pneumonia. She died, and then when Emma found out, she fell down the cellar stairs. In fact, She ended up dying too. She probably developed pneumonia for all we know. 9 days later, they died between 9 years of one another. Isn't that something? We never communicated when she moved away. I'm still thinking, I'm not thinking so much, well, you know, in those days to associate with actors and actresses were no better than associate with a prostitute. They were on the same level. Remember, this is Victorian time, so that could have contributed to the breakup of the sisters. Or it could have been the fact that she was true palsy-walsy with that Joseph Tetro, because Emma kept firing him and Lizzie kept rehiring him. You know what I mean? So, we'll never know that. But you know what? That house, do you realize when the chauffeur would drive into the garage, it had a turntable in the garage? Was that in the book? Turntable, and she had her own gasoline pump. Isn't that something? I mean, how many houses have a turntable in the garage and their own gasoline pump? Plus, you must remember they didn't have gas stations everywhere either. You see? So,
Did she ever work, or was it all inherited?
no, they never lived a day in their lives. They lived off the father's money. And when she died, she left, I believe it was $30,000 to the Animal Rescue League in Fall River, another 10 to the Animal Rescue League in Washington, D.C. And I went to the Animal Rescue League about 10 years ago. Inside they had this great big picture, I mean big, on the wall of Lizzie. That's because they're getting money. There's a trust fund, and my husband said every now and then it would be printed in the paper, money going to the Animal Rescue League from their trust fund. How do you like that? Now, Emma left a lot of money to organizations like the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the Home for the Aged. You know, she left her money, some to the Animal Rescue League, but not like Lizzie. Lizzie had 3 animals of her own. I think they were English Bulldog, what were they now? English Bulldog. They're buried in this pet cemetery in Dedham, Massachusetts. Big headstones. And of course, there's money there to keep up the graves, just like a person's cemetery plot, you see. So there's a picture there, here, and here, lady is holding the dog. You see. There was something else I said. I'm going to talk about it in Mr. Gordon's room. What was it I said? I'll talk about it downstairs.
What you think happened, or
What?
the motive?
Oh, the motive. Money was not the primary motive when we do the seance. Money was not the primary motive. But remember this is what I say on the Ghost Adventure show. You saw Aftershocks? You can bring it up on demand, you know.
Okay.
This was on about a month ago, but you can bring it up on demand. And, he was tough. I'm telling you, he was trying to, but he was kind of getting after Liz and getting after me, but I diffused it by saying, like he said to me, well, do you think it's right to accuse a man of such a terrible thing when he's not here to defend himself? And so I said, well, everything that happens today happened in those days, but it was hush-hush. I wasn't there in 1892, but it happened in those days, but hush-hush. And that diffused his whole, he thought I was going to come right after him and argue back and forth with him, but I didn't. I just like, no, I wasn't there, but this is, you know. And so we left it at that. Otherwise it would have been back and forth from my saying, well, yeah, he did. What do you think? I can't prove it. Nobody can prove that. But, I mean, it happens today all the time. And if anything was said by Mrs. Borden, what do you think he would have done to her if she went out and told anybody? She had to turn a blind eye. What do you think he would have done to her? He would have had her committed. You know, if it was true, we don't know. We really don't know.
It was a man's world back then, though.
We don't know. I mean, the man could have been innocent, but we don't know. But you know, a couple of, I think Annie did a story too about me. They touched on that subject too. You know. But what do you think?
The rage, you know, that
I
was
know.
rage. That wasn't just murder.
I know.
That wasn't
It was-
murder for money. That was personal.
Well, if it was this guy used to overkill when he killed pigs too.
Yeah.
They called him the overkill. He was a little nuts, she said,
Right.
and he would overkill when he slaughtered pigs. So, who knows? You'd have to be here to do the seance and then ask the questions, and you get your answer from Mrs. Borden. So Liz says, I'm speaking for Mrs. Borden, the innocent one, and Lizzie, you know, really. And she said, of course, Mr. Borden didn't deserve to be murdered like that, and neither one of them did. That was a horrible way to die. Neither one of them deserved that. But what can we say? Now, you want to go down to the basement, right? Okay. down there and talk. And then if you think of anything, just ask me, because I just don't see I just talk and talk and talk, you're never gonna hear everything. Because,
How's everybody using the basement? What do we think?
How about I go take a look and try out the stairs and say,
Try the steps if you want to.
you know you want to.
I want to do it,
Well, we'll be the last ones and I'll sit. Okay? Oh, look at this one laying there in the
I know.
murder couch. Is
I did
that,
that too.
is that like the murder couch like he was murdered on? Is that the real thing or a replica? The sofa.
Third count, she said that.
What?
It's a third replica.
It's a replica. Stay here for a moment. Into the basement. I'm gonna pretend I'm one of those ghost shows. Ooh, oh, did you see that? Ah! Okay. Basement, yeah. I've had basements worse than this. This doesn't even look that old.
But that's a cistern, they call it a cistern. Now just remember, they had a sink room down here and they had running water, probably a pump. She had to take the water,
Termites.
put it in there, start a fire underneath, because the bricks probably went there at the bottom. Start a fire, wait for the water to boil, throw in the bar of soap, throw the sheets in. It must have taken her a week just to do sheets.
This is it.
And then she'd have to take, I hope she had some kind of a wringer, hand wringer, take the sheets out and wring them.
Well, that was the laundry?
Huh?
Is that what they did, the laundry, you mean?
The laundry, yeah, the maid, the poor maid.
Wow.
And so then she'd have to wring it out, and then she'd have to bail the soapy water out, put in fresh water, throw the sheets back in, and with a stick, she'd have to go on, probably with something like this, you know, to like agitate.
Exactly.
Oh my God. And then have to go outside and hang it on the line. They didn't have any dryers in those days. So the poor thing, it must have taken her a week just to do sheets. I bet everybody did.
Is there a toilet down here too? Where's that?
What?
Was there a toilet down here as well?
They had a lot of stuff to carry out. They had big crates of food. They had all kinds of food, you know, snacks and camera equipment. And oh my God, they all went out that way. They must have been scared out of their wits.
They really left, huh?
Where was the toilet area?
Oh my God.
They left.
Was there a
Was there
toilet
an
down here?
outhouse in this house, or was it?
Yeah, they
Indoor
had over
plumbing.
here. I'm going to show you with. Well, that's what I keep thinking. They had city water here. Why couldn't they have a full chain toilet? I
It
don't
was
know.
cheap.
I don't know.
You didn't
Okay,
have
see,
gas
there it is.
Either, and everybody
was
else
right
in the
here.
neighborhood did have gas. He was cheap.
You know, that's what they had. So that's not a pull chain toilet. If that's
It was right here?
Yeah, right here. That's why she's got the
But it was
picture
indoor
there.
plumbing.
Yeah, but they had
So you
pipes
wash
of
it down
water.
with a bucket.
I don't know how they did that.
But he also didn't have gas. You know, almost all the homes in the area had gas. He was just
Well,
cheap.
yes, they could have had gas lighting and all of that stuff,
Right,
and they could
yeah,
have had electricity.
kerosene.
They could have had electricity. They were already
Right.
hooking up, but he didn't want that. No. So the girls had to come down to empty their channel pots right here. Now in that corner there, that's where the coal bin was, right in there. Coming in through that, there's a slide with the coal. It was
There's a
like
cistern over
you know,
there.
like a ramp that would come down with the
Right.
coal.
Isn't that- Go around the corner. That's the only. Yeah, this thing's not here anymore. There's a picture.
Yeah, and that's
Then you go around the corners where they wash their clothes and they keep going and turn right. No, keep going, turn right. Now make a right.
Nobody would
But
steal
there
coal.
was bars.
Nobody would steal coal.
Ashley?
20 minutes after she had come down.
What? Why, where is she?
She said I can't even use it. She said no. She said absolutely not. I have enough.
To me, it's a toy. It doesn't matter to me one way or another. But you, actually, nothing's there down there.
Can I ask you a question?
There's nothing there.
Yeah,
There's a picture of it on the
but
wall.
I can't.
But there's a picture of it on the wall.
At least talking.
I took a picture of the bathing bucket they used, but that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of the tour for now.